Welcome to the Epic Gaming Night Podcast, a podcast about the stories and relationships board games create. I'm your host, Ray Candy, and with me today is Courtney.
Hey.
Ruthie.
What's up?
And Rob.
Hello. What's
Rob
up,
was
everybody?
mimicking how I do the intro right before we started.
Yeah.
Trying to teach Ruthie how to do it because I was joking with Ruthie that she was going to
Don't put me on a spot like
have to be the host and the point person.
I wouldn't do that, and Ruthie would do a wonderful job.
I'm
She
sure
would do a wonderful job.
you do a great job. A lot of times at the Dice Tower, we'll sit down like for a review and we'll just be like, who's hosting this one? Who's leading this thing off? Like, do you want to do it? I don't know. I don't care. You want to do it? I mean, you know the game the best. Doesn't know who knows the game the best. You know, it's very off the cuff most of the time. But
Those are the best.
But yeah, so hey, another episode of the Epic Gaming Night Podcast. We will have Kent after he finishes Lorcanaing.
He better win.
Yeah, he better win.
He better win. Because
But if
this is getting ridiculous. Like, if he's just leaving and he's not winning, then just stay. Just stay and be on time for the show.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But if you're leaving and you're winning, then okay. But if you're
I
not
think he
winning,
won last week.
All he does
Is he
is
playing
stitch
against
it
the
up.
same five
Is he still
guys, though, every
stitching it
time?
up?
Yeah. I don't know. I think he plays against different. I don't know how many people there are.
because you can't get your hands on it.
It's still pretty hard to get.
Yeah, they're not really growing the gamer base because the game is non-existent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like the same people are playing it. And then,
Ah.
if you ever go to a game store when they are playing it and you ask about it, and then the guys playing it, they just give you that look like, oh, you don't have this. Oh,
I would love to walk into a game store and just like it's just a whole bunch of dudes you would normally see playing Magic the Gathering, except they're just sitting there with Mickey Mouse ears on. Like that's
Right.
just what I imagine Lorcana tournaments are like. It's just a bunch of dudes sitting around with Mickey Mouse ears on. I would
Well,
love
the
that.
place that Kent goes, like you get stickers or something every time you win matches, and you get one of the ways you can get stickers is like by wearing Disney shirts and stuff. So that's why he started wearing Disney shirts, and
For the
you
stickers.
can get it from like
For the
I don't know
stickers.
other stuff. But like, and the more stickers you get, the better like it rewards you get at the end of the month or something.
The more Disney stickers you have, the more
Okay.
strategic advantage you have.
Yeah.
when I was doing a Song of Ice and Fire tournaments,
Did they have stickers?
no, but you got an extra point if like your minis were painted, but you also got an extra point if you wore a Game of Thrones T-shirt of any kind, and then you
nice.
got an extra point if you had anything special like 3D printed. So like, there were guys coming like with their own thing piece where you put down your guys for to do like the money sack and the extra attack and move and stuff. They'd get points for that, and then you'd see guys with Stark or Targaryen and shirts and stuff on to
Do you
get those
get-
extra points.
Do you get extra points if you like red wedding kill somebody's entire family or like fillet someone alive or
No, you just get arrested.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. They might do that like after the tournament, but like no, they had a strict no blood on the carpet
There you go.
policy.
That makes sense.
Well, it's just so hard to clean up. If it was tile, I think they would allow you to get with it because then you could just like spray it down and go. But a lot of the stores had carpet, and they were just like, "Look, guys, please
No more
don't.
murdering people.
No, one
Carpet
time
hides
is
dirt
enough."
a lot better than tile, and So.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Anyway, we have a show tonight or something. I
Yeah.
don't even know how this got
We'll
off
talk
track.
about board games, I guess.
I blame myself. But we're going to talk about some news articles and what we've been playing, and then also some gift ideas of what board games would be good to give as gifts for the holiday season.
Yes, sir.
On how you kind of approach that, and some game ideas as well. The first thing, I guess we're going to talk about some news here. I guess if you can't put all this together, I might not have any idea what's going on here. Charcuterie! I know Rob knows about this one. Charcuterie,
Man.
the board game. It's a delectable
Charcuterie, the board
game
game
of
looks
appetizer
amazing.
arrangement.
Plays 1 to 6 players.
Mhm.
Actually 2 to 6 players. They're not coming out with a solo mode. Sam Healy, actually him and his wife Jessie, just did a live playthrough and review. I backed Charcuterie day one. I've been talking about Charcuterie for a few months now. I wanted when we did our Gen Con games, Charcuterie made my list. It is a party game where one player is the host of the night, and they get to pick out, I believe, what items will go into the charcuterie bag and whatnot, and kind of the theme. And everybody gets player cards, and they also get some stuff where you can get bonuses if you have X amount of exotic cheeses and X amount of crackers and stuff. What's cool though about the game is, and I kind of like this, your charcuterie board, you don't win or lose points based off of presentation. And here's why I think that's cool. When you're pulling stuff out of the bag, you may not be able to pull like all the cheeses or fruits or meats or veggies and stuff out at the same time while you're setting up your board, right? And so sometimes the games are like, you'll get extra points for this or that. But you are allowed to manipulate your game board anytime you're moving your pieces or anytime you're adding pieces. So you're not going to, so if you do get points for stuff being near each other, you can manipulate it, is what I'm trying to say. It's not like once it's set, it's done. But it's a quick game. It lasts about 25 minutes. It's going to be a great filler game. Sam was talking about it sort of like that party-esque board game where it's not really a party game, but it could be played as a party game. But it's a light filler. The components and everything are really great. There's 7 days left right now in the Kickstarter. And the Kickstarter, some of the unlocks are very exciting. Like one unlock we just got was we get a neoprene gloss added.
Oh, like spot UV sort of thing?
We get this gloss that's now added to the
neoprene gloss. What does that mean?
It's some type of. I wanted to say neoprene. It's probably nothing to do with that whatsoever, but it's a nice gloss. You get the cards are shinier now.
Okay, cool.
And so so it's not like a come on Kickstarter where you're going to get like all these extra stretch goal minis and stuff like that. There are some stretch goals like that, but and also here's another great thing about Charcuterie Board. I think you can back the Kickstarter for like less than $30. You can get 2 copies for like 56. So it is priced very well, and it looks like a lot of fun. My family's excited to play it. In fact, when I told my wife I backed it, she was like, "Oh, okay, cool, nice." Like I didn't get in trouble, I didn't get yelled at. There wasn't a weird look or like a twitching eye or anything. So that's Charcuterie the board game.
So
and
Rob,
Kent, you better have won.
I want to know your opinion on this, Rob. Do you think charcuterie boards are just adult Lunchables?
I love everything you just said. I hope so. I hope so. I think that's amazing. I love that idea.
My kids love Lunchables, and they're like kids charcuterie boards, but like charcuterie boards are like adult Lunchables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's like crackers and meats and cheeses. You know,
I'm on board with that 100%. It's just like a messy Lunchable, but we love charcuterie boards, and we do it often, especially if we have guests and things like that. So check it out. The Kickstarter, like I said, as of the time we're filming this, we are filming this today on November 14th, and as of today, there's still 7 days left in the Kickstarter. So go check it out. Fun game, Charcuterie the board game.
Does this Kent have like a Disney shirt on?
Yes.
Did you get your sticker, Kent?
Is it a bunch of
I got my sticker.
villains?
It's all the villains, yeah. Not
I
all
love
of them,
it.
but a lot of them. Yep.
Did you win?
Yeah, I went 3-0.
Did you leave them in stitches?
No. I used a different deck this time.
Oh, well, okay. I guess Stitch is not in the meta anymore.
No, he still is.
Nice. So, Kent won all the Lorcana.
Yes.
Yeah, we just got finished with charcuterie. Do you have anything to add about charcuterie, guys?
It looks delicious. Speaking of delicious, this next news item also looks delicious.
I am all about sushi. Sushi games are interesting, but sushi in general is amazing.
Yes, this one is called Wasabi. It's a sushi themed game. It was an older game that was it was pretty popular in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like set collection kind of stuff, tile placement. But they're doing Kids Table Board Games doing a new version, like a reworked kind of streamlined new version.
Nice.
And they do their production on their stuff is all the art's really, really nice.
Yeah.
And their production's really good. And they're all like pretty much family weight games. So this one is one that I definitely want to check out just because it's like I'd heard so many good things about it and it looks, the sushi theme is cool. Sushi's great. this game looks really really well made and well produced and all that. And it's like I said, it's a re-implementing an old classic.
So when me and Ruthie started dating, she'd never like really had much sushi at all before, and I kind of introduced her to sushi.
Oh, nice.
And that was my favorite.
Now we've never turned back. She never turned back. You didn't like wasabi
Wow.
for a while though, but now wasabi's growing on you a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
I'll keep
Oh,
trying
wasabi's
it.
great.
It's like maybe I'll try it this. Maybe I'll like it this time. Maybe I'll like it this time. I do that
What
with
is it?
food.
What is it
that I
about
don't
wasabi
like.
you don't like?
I don't like when the fumes coming out of my nose. Like
Yeah.
It's got the nasal burn for sure.
Yeah.
Crazy. The crazy
I
thing about
don't-
wasabi is like in America, it's not actually wasabi, the root
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
right.
horseradish. But like I swear, like depending on the place you go, the strength of the horseradish, wasabi, whatever, is vastly different. Like sometimes you could get wasabi that's like super mild, and sometimes you get and you're like, holy smokes, like it wrecks
I'll,
you.
I'll put like
Yeah.
a little bit on the sushi roll, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, it's good. And then sometimes I'll see Roy likes putting like a bunch of it. Inside,
I like wrecking myself.
Yeah, inside the soy sauce, and I'm like, what are you doing? You're gonna.
Oh, that's
you're
good.
Gonna,
That's
you're
good
trying to
company.
die. You're trying to kill yourself.
Well, the nice thing is it only burns for a short period of time.
Oh, that
Unlike
is
other
true.
spicy foods, you're
Yeah, that's
you're in
true.
pain for multiple,
Yeah.
minutes or hours sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
Wasabi's quick.
Yeah, I love the wasabi. Wasabi and soy
Yeah.
You
sauce
back
and
this
it's good.
game, Kent?
I think I did. I mean, if I have not, I'm going to probably. It's on Kickstarter right now. It ends on December 7th. And yeah, I probably will back it. I like what Kids Table War Games does. They're pretty good company. I've played a lot of their, not a ton, but I played quite a few of their games and they're all pretty solid. So I definitely would be picking this one. It's one I think both of us, Courtney and I, wanted to play the original version back in 2008. We've never got around to playing it, or it went out of print at some point, and then we never tried it. But that is Wasabi. It's back.
The next game is Santa's Workshop by Elf Creek Games. The cover on this one looks ridiculously good.
Yeah. So this one's artwork by Andrew Bosley and Jackie Davis and Matt Paquette and other people. But there's not that many, I would say not that many like Christmas themed games or even
good Christmas themed
Yeah,
games.
I mean there's some, but like it's not like a really large,
Right.
category compared to like zombie games and space games and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of fun having holiday themed games you can play. If you want to play a game about Santa, you can get this game. It's available for pre-order on Elf Creek Games site. They've done quite a few pretty good games.
Their production is
recently.
normally amazing.
Yeah, like Merchants of the Dark Road was amazing production. Game was okay.
That's what
The
I heard
Planet's
mostly.
Rising was really solid game, great production.
The honey, the bee game.
Yeah,
What's that
the
bee
Honey
game called?
Buzz.
Honey Buzz.
I think Honey Buzz. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've done
Yeah,
a lot
the
of
production was really good on that too.
pretty good stuff. And this is, I don't think it's that expensive. I want to say it's like, $35
Oh, nice.
for it's the first Christmas edition. I don't know what that means exactly, but it's another game probably worth checking out if you want kind of a holiday themed game. It looks like it's going to ship before Christmas. They don't really guarantee that, but I think that's the goal. Sounds
That's
like
awesome.
so it's another family weight game.
I would definitely hope that they have it before Christmas, especially.
I would hope
with-
so. Yeah, that'd be such a
Bro.
shame.
If my copy of Halloween came in like on Halloween, they're like, we guarantee it's supposed to come in September, and then they're like, we guarantee it'll be there, before the end of the month, and it came in on Halloween. So, I hope Santa's Workshop. I hope those little elves get to work, or big elves. I don't discriminate. You can be tall elf, you can be short elf. I hope they get the job done. And,
Yeah.
you know,
And this one also, actually, I didn't realize this. This is also a re-implementation of another game. I'd never played the original. But
Oh.
I think there's an original game called Santa's Workshop, and this obviously is a fancy new edition. I don't know exactly.
Oh, gotcha. Cool.
I don't know if exactly what has been changed or what's different, but the cover is very intriguing. It's got a nice look.
is there a link to be able to? You might have said
Yeah,
this already,
the link
but
is.
I was
I can paste the link
backing
into the-
Wasabi. If you could post it in the chat.
Post that link in the chat. This is where you can pre-order on Elf Creek Games website, I think, if that link works.
You forgot the
yeah.
H.
I was about to say I could see
yeah,
in the
I-
copy and paste that you forgot at the age.
Yeah.
That's funny.
There we go. That link should work in the YouTube chat now.
The next game is Undergrove. This is a mushroom-themed game. Well, mushroom and tree-themed game by Elizabeth Hartgrave. We played this last week. They played this last week on the Dice Tower as a live play. It was a game all about different types of mushroom fungus and how they kind of like support trees and the roots of the trees and things like that as they're growing, kind of like a symbiotic relationship sort of thing.
That's cool.
And getting different aspects to the different trees and stuff like that so they can grow. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, anything with Elizabeth Hargrave's name on it, we're going to be willing to
back
try.
it.
For sure.
I love how like sciencey her games are. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and she's like that she knows her like topics, you know?
Yeah.
Like she's really big into bird watching. She makes Wingspan and it's like to the T, like all about birds, like super smart. And then like she's into like foraging mushrooms and collecting different types of mushrooms and studying different types of mushrooms, like Undergrove. Like it's just cool.
Yeah.
When with the butterfly game that I played,
Mariposas. That is
Mariposas was another game
very-
that was like really fun. That's just like all about migrations of butterflies. I just love how sciencey her games are and how much they kind of like fit their theme, even though they're very mechanical at the same time.
Yeah.
It's really interesting the way she does it. It's like great.
Yeah, she does a really good point. She does a great job of integrating that theme into the game, but also making the game really fun. And just solid games for sure. This one's kind of a worker placement and pick up and deliver modular board. So it sounds a little bit different than some of her other style of games. So I'm curious to see how this one goes. Did you didn't play it? You didn't play it, did you?
I didn't actually get to play it. I just saw it being played in the room, same room as me. I get to run the streams a lot of times.
Right. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, it looks neat. Had a lot of like interlocking tiles look like and kind of neat stuff going on. But that's on Kickstarter right now until I don't know. I can.
December, I think.
Yeah, I'll post that link in the chat also.
Please don't. The last two games you talked about, I've just backed one and bought one.
And we picked a topic about getting more games for people, so
Right.
you're in trouble,
Yeah,
Rob.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually have anything for our last thing here. Was there anything else, Kent, that you saw off the fly? I was scouring Board Game Geek for more news.
Let's see.
I was excited that Last Light is in the hot games room at Board Game Geek Con. So Scott
Yeah.
Walden picked Last Light as one of the hot games, so I'm super stoked about that.
awesome.
And
It's so hot, my copy won't even come
every
in.
backer has the game except for Rob. Well, maybe
We
Kent
have not
Courtney.
gotten to.
We have
do
not
that.
gotten
And
our
Ken
copy
Courtney.
yet
So
either.
I've made sure that the people that are on the podcast, except for Matt, only the important people on the podcast got theirs.
The guy I'm selling my copy to is going to leave me bad feedback because I said I would ship it already. Just kidding.
That's messed up.
Just
That's
kidding.
messed up. Also, I subscribe, of course, to Last Light on Board Game Geek, and it also like brings up like all the geek lists it's on. So to like see the game like go up on like people's like virtual flea market geek list is actually pretty sad a little bit. It's like new in shrink copy. It's like you guys didn't even play it, but yeah, it's fine. But yeah, I'm excited about everybody getting their stuff, and lots of people have been really excited, so that's been really cool.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully Rob will get his copy soon. Ken Courtney, they have other
When
games
I've
to
got
play.
some friends coming over this weekend, I would love the guys that I play TI4 with. They're clients of mine. They come in and I was like, man, we should play this game. It's going to be great. I know the guy. I know the guy.
So basically you're saying I should clear my weekend so I can answer all your questions on
Yeah, pretty much.
how it works.
Like, we're going to start off the game with like a 10-minute phone call with Roy. So how do we play? What is like a FaceTime or something? And then we're going to play and it's going to be great if it comes in.
Oh,
But
well, they
seriously, if it's in
said...
by Saturday, I would love to play it on Saturday.
Well, if yours doesn't come in, mine does. I'll bring it.
Okay.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, I was telling Rob I have no clue how they determine the order that these are shipped out because things are getting to people in further locations, and like some people have it like Chris Yee, like the guy who sits beside me at work doesn't have his copy yet, but
Our friends in Kendall.
yeah, our friends in Kindle here got it, and I know
Yeah.
Stephen Bonacore got his, and I know Joey got his. So it's like it's random, the
It's
people who
super
got it.
random.
I don't know who gets it and who doesn't, or the order that they do that. 'Cause
And
it's not
I
by backer number
volunteered
either
one time, several years ago,
for Gray Fox.
to yeah. And how dare they? How
But
dare they?
just to be fair, I don't have a production copy of the game yet either. So if that makes anybody
Well,
feel
you
better.
did though, didn't you? Didn't
I
you?
steal the
have
dice towers, but
Okay.
yeah. But technically it's Tom's. But yeah.
Well,
Cool. Well, I guess we can get into the games that we've been playing.
hold on. Wasn't there a legendary What If?
One more thing. Oh yeah, there was
Well,
that.
Well, that's
Did you-
what Ruthie's talking about for her game that she's playing.
What's the newest Marvel Champions that's been announced?
Oh, we could put that in there.
The
They
newest
announced
Marvel
the
Champions.
Apocalypse stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
I could find it maybe.
Here, I got it.
Let me go back. Oh, you're gonna throw it in there. That makes it easier because I have to move away from the screen, or else. Look at that nice white border on there. So Age of Apocalypse was announced for Marvel Champions, which adds Bishop and Magic, and of course you're facing off against all the like death and pestilence and all that stuff from like the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse and Dark Beast, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
They also had a spoiler of 4 new characters that are going to be in the cycle after this. I don't know if you can find that at the bottom of the Fantasy Flight page, but it's kind of fun to like guess which characters those are as well. But yeah, this looks like it's just another one of those boxes that has the campaign in it, and I love the way they do the campaigns in these because they're super short. I mean, like I like campaign games, but I don't normally have the time for it. But normally these Marvel Champions are like 5 games and you're through the campaign. So it just gives you a nice taste of story. You can play each of the parts of the campaign, but you can also play each of those villains separately if you want to. So that's fun as well.
There's magic.
Yeah, so there's magic in there. I'm trying to remember what the setup of the different characters are because I read all about them, but I have so much Marvel Champion stuff in my head, I don't remember what's what.
I need to play this. I have it.
You definitely
base
should play
game?
It, Rob. You should
You should
definitely,
definitely play the base game.
At least try.
Yeah,
it.
I have
It's
the
really
base game
fun.
and I think in a couple of expansions. I just this past week, with my church group that I do the board game group with, I introduced them to Marvel United, and they
Oh,
love
nice.
that.
Yeah.
But I know Champions just looks so cool.
It
and
is-
I like FFG.
It is
Or-
my favorite board game, and honestly, it is like the best thing coming out of Fantasy Flight currently because some stuff is hit or miss. Like Marvel Champions is just a win for me every single time, you know.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
But yeah, it looks like from the little shadow pictures of like the other characters, it looks like they're probably coming out with like Iceman and Jubilee and who else was it? Beast, like regular like Hank McCoy.
Are these
Beast.
like teasers for playable characters or just the support characters? Right?
No, they're
support
gonna be
characters
the next like
Oh,
they
the
do these
next-
like shadow things. Did you get this off the Fantasy Flight
This
page?
Is, yeah.
If you go to the very, very bottom of that page, it shows like the
You have
little
to guess
shadow
the
boxes,
characters.
the different characters.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got you. That definitely
And-
looks like Jubilee and maybe
Yeah, it's-
Cyclops.
Yeah, it's definitely Jubilee for sure. Are you about to pop it in?
Here.
Let's see if it happens.
Hmm.
Watch Kent do the magic. Bum, ba, ba.
Oh, yeah, it's Jubilee. For sure.
Yeah, so Jubilee in the middle there. And with the
Cyclops?
hair, yeah. Well, no, Cyclops is
hair,
already
I'm
in the
not
game.
sure.
Oh, Cyclops is out.
Yeah,
The
so
fu-
we're
the
thinking.
guy on the left has glasses. It looks like.
Yeah, so the guy on the left, I was wondering if that was Iceman. And then the hair, the guy with the hair, I think is probably like Nightcrawler maybe. And they were
Yeah.
wondering if the guy on the far right is like Hank McCoy or like Beast or whatever.
Yeah.
Flipping back and forth between Hank McCoy and Beast. Anyway, it's always fun to like for people to guess these things, and then after they show the actual pictures, like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool.
Wait, but if this is Ice, you think this is Iceman? What's his name? Oh, I can't.
Pyro? No, Pyro's a bad guy.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there and
Oh, yeah,
Pyro
you're
is
right.
already in the Brotherhood of Mutants stuff
Oh,
as
that's
a
right.
bad guy. So, but yeah, so that's exciting. More, I love that they keep doing a lot of X-Men stuff just because I'm such a huge fan of X-Men.
Yeah,
So it's really
I
cool
love
to see
X-Men.
X-Men coming into all of this. So, But yeah, they've had X-Men for a while. They've been on an X-Men kick for a while. It'd be interesting to see once they switch it up, but I'm loving the fact that they're going through a lot of the X-Men before changing it up just because I love them so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we can go ahead, staying on with the Marvel train. We can talk about what we've been playing. Ruthie's game.
Yay! We played What If. I know Courtney likes.
Oh yeah,
Marvel
I
Legendary.
love Legendary.
I mean,
it's
we both love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
a
have
lot
you
of
guys
fun.
got this one?
No,
We don't. No.
It was a lot of fun. We played against. Well, my game is What If Marvel Legendary, and we played against Scarlet Witch, and it was a lot of fun. We got to pick who was our. It's so hard.
We play
'cause
with
you
Party Thor,
T'Challa, Star Lord.
T'Challa Star-Lord, and then we play with like Demon Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, Demon. Yeah.
And then I guess
'Cause they're all mixed.
Thanos Killer Gamora.
Oh,
or
Gamora.
whatever.
There you go.
Yeah.
And there was another one because there was 5, I think.
Oh, who would the last one have been? Wait, Thor.
Was it the Watchers?
Oh, the Watcher. Yeah, the Watcher was also in it.
Yeah.
And then we were
Yeah.
playing with a lot of the Marvel Zombies stuff. So there were
Right.
just
It
these
was-
zombies that kept coming back over
She
and
was
over
so
again.
hard to beat. Oh,
She was so hard to beat, as in we didn't actually beat her. She beat us.
Yeah.
That game can be so hard,
Yeah.
for sure.
Can't be.
It was
Some of
so
those schemes
hard.
are super hard.
Or if you get like a lot of Master Strikes back to back to back or something.
Yeah.
She had this thing
It's-
where she was strong, but then each time you played any card with an odd number on it, like odd number for recruitment on it,
Yeah.
that she gained like 2 extra strength. So you couldn't
Right.
play any of her 0 cost cards, or else she would be stronger.
Right.
You know. So it was like really rough. And then just the fact that she kept like all these things kept coming back to life because it was the Marvel zombies. It's like we would get stuff in our victory pile and things would disappear out of our victory pile. We'd get it back in our victory pile and go back on the board. It just made
Right.
the city fill up way too fast and
Yeah.
kind of wrecked us. But this is interesting because this is the first time since Villains, well, besides the other like Marvel Studios stuff with the like movie stuff on it.
Yeah, the
but
movie
this-
stuff was standalone.
This is a standalone version of the game, so it comes with all the stuff you need to play the game just with this What If set. So it's cool. So like if you want a new entry point into Marvel Legendary, this is it. Especially if you really enjoyed the What If series, this has a lot
It was
of that
so
stuff.
good.
I mean, you have a lot of replayability with having a bunch of heroes to mix it up with, but then you also have like the bad guys you go against. You have, I think there's Scarlet Witch, and then there's Hank Pym. I guess evil Hank Pym or whatever, Ant-Man.
I didn't go through the villains.
Yeah,
I think just like we're playing Scarlet Witch because you love Scarlet Witch.
yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Yeah, I love
we
Scarlet
also
Witch.
there's also what is it? The superior what's his face? Ultron or whatever. Ultron with like the Infinity
that's
Stones or
cool.
whatever. I don't remember who the
I
other
love
one
that
was.
series.
But yeah, I do want to say that as far as this set goes, there's a lot of keywords and all of the villains are pretty difficult. Like there's no like base starting villain to go up against in this. So it's hard. It's a little bit hard to recommend for people new to Legendary. I wish they had just a little bit like this is the easy villain to face off against instead of just like this is for veteran Legendary players. It really feels more like it's for veteran Legendary players than for newcomers to the game. So
Yeah.
if you're interested in Marvel Legendary, I would probably say start with
With
the
Legendary.
regular base game still, even though that's so old at this point.
That
Yeah,
base
it is.
game
But
is
it's so-
really good to learn though, because it's
Yeah.
very
It's
easy.
definitely
Ultra hand,
extremely
It's
easy,
not that
yeah.
hard. There's not
And it's so much
crazy
fun
amounts of
to,
keywords.
like-
I wish they just would have had one villain that was easy to fight in this. Just
Yeah.
one. And then I would have
Yeah.
been like, this is a great starting set. Because you start with that easy villain, you face off against them. But even Hank Pym, like, is the one they suggest you start with. He's still really difficult. It's like, holy smokes, they didn't make this easy on you.
Yeah.
You know, so, but it definitely has a lot of interesting stuff going for it, especially if you enjoyed the Disney Plus What If series.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that was a lot of fun. I like who was my
And it comes with a playmat, and the playmat's really nice too.
like my character. One of his powers was it Star Lord.
It was T'Challa had a lot of the like flip
I had
over
to
the-
guess like what if like what character
what character would be on top of your deck.
right. So
Oh,
I
wow.
just kept getting the same characters. I was like, I'm just gonna keep getting the same characters so I can guess. And I did it like 5 times. I was
But
like,
also
yes!
it also has stuff that lets you scry the deck a little bit and maybe set up the
Right.
deck too. So it's like you can look and see what the top character is and then
Right?
guess
So
what
much
the character
fun.
is.
I like deck building games.
And the cool thing is like this set has a ton of like culling or like KOing cards out of your deck, which of
Right.
course makes your deck super like lean and like makes
Yep.
you be able to play a lot of really good cards. And speaking of which, like you literally can't beat Hank Pym unless you cull your deck. Like, because I think when you fight him,
When you played with.
he starts with like 4 strength, and then you go to fight him, and then
Is
you
this when you
discard
play
like the
with Joey?
top. No, I mean I was just saying what he does. You discard the top 5 cards of your deck, and for each 0 cost card, he gets like plus 2 extra strength,
Wow.
and your whole deck is like 0 cost cards at the beginning of the game. So
Wow.
if you can't, it's kind of like a luck and RNG sort of like combat for against him. So you could get lucky maybe, but if you don't call your deck, you're not going to beat him. So, but yeah, it's pretty interesting set.
It's still fun.
It is definitely fun. It's
Yeah.
definitely hard, but it's definitely fun.
Right.
And I like this
impressed.
because they very much, I think, in the rule book make it so it's cooperative. You know, they're not even beating around the bush about the fact of is this a competitive or cooperative game. It's a cooperative game in this version. So they talk about, hey, you can see who did the best with scores afterwards, but it doesn't matter. You know, they very much lay that out in the rule book for this one, which is different than the base game of Legendary.
That's the way it should be, I feel like.
I agree.
But I'm impressed they still are coming out with different new mechanisms
this
and
game is so,
new stuff
like,
they add to the game.
relatively
And like the
old.
scheme twists are very creative still, even though there's like hundreds of them that are, or you know, like the schemes and all the different things are just pretty creative still with all the
The
stuff coming out.
well of Marvel is so deep. It is insane, you know?
Yeah.
How many different characters there are, how many different worlds there are, how many different scenarios, you
And
know?
stories and
I have massive amounts of Marvel Legendary that I've never played. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, so do we.
it's like, I mean, with Marvel Champions, I keep up with everything, but Marvel Legendary, I fell off the wagon. Like, it's Marvel Champions' fault. But like, I feel like Marvel Legendary is a much more like casual friendly game. Like, cause it's cooperative, but it's different cooperative. Like, it's easier to get into than Marvel Champions is in a lot of ways, you know?
Yeah.
yeah.
Because Marvel Champions is very like thinky. Marvel Legendary, you just kind of like you get cards and you throw them down and you destroy
Yeah.
stuff. You know, it's a little bit more hack and
agree.
slash, I think, even though it's cards, so it doesn't make sense. But you know what I mean. But yeah, I guess we'll go on to Rob's game of the week.
Yes.
Rob, come back from buying stuff and talk about your game. Stop buying things and talk about your game.
Yes. Yeah, I apologize. I'm unmuted now. My game, I played this game. I bought this game a while ago because my family and I, we love Minecraft. We play a lot of Minecraft. And so I saw this. I thought it was really cool. And we played Minecraft Builders and Biomes. I played with my oldest daughter. And what you're doing is you're setting up a grid, 4x4 grid, and you have different stacks of cards. And on the picture on the left, you can sort of see above my grid. I apologize. I forget to take pictures, and then like in the game, I'm like, oh, take pictures. And so that's why my pictures aren't great.
I think they're great. They look
But
great to me.
you get these cubes, and on these cubes, they represent different things. The greens are wild. The khaki are sand. The brown is earth. The black is obsidian, and then the gray is cobblestone. And you're trying to build certain things because as you flip over the cards, the whole point of the game is the game ends once you get down to the 3rd level of that stack of cubes. So there's 3 rounds of scoring, and on each card in the upper left-hand corner, it shows your 3 rounds of scoring. Once the first level of cubes are gone, you do a round of scoring. Once the second level of cubes are gone, you do a round of scoring. And then the game ends in the 3rd round of cubes. Now, every cube has to be gone before the round ends. So what that means is you can, like in Minecraft, mine straight down and not end the round and try to get a cube that's on the very bottom level. As long as you get enough stuff off the top of it, because 3 sides of the cube.
Is there lava in the thing at all? Like if you mine, you could fall into a pit and get into lava.
No,
'Cause
that
that's
would be cool.
in Minecraft. It's very much a faux pas to mine straight down.
Oh yeah. No, I love that idea, and that would have been cool if they would have added that. But no, there's no
Who is this?
lava.
Ravensburger, contact me for the expansion.
There's lava in the other Minecraft game.
Oh,
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
All right. Well, in this one, as long as 3 sides of the cube are exposed, you can draw that cube, and you get a couple turns. Like you can move a couple spaces, you can attack, you can draw the cube, or you can flip over a card and pay for the card if you have the cubes to pay for the card. And the whole point is to have the most points at the end of the game. You have little punch-out standees, but outside of those little punch-out standees, I thought everything else component-wise was really nice and really good for the game. The card quality is a thick cardboard quality. The bad guys and the minis and all the art and everything looked really cool. Your player mat, you get this 3x3 grid, and as you get the cards, you're going to get points if like you have so many biomes that are like each other, stacked near each other, and different things. And throughout the different rounds for scoring, you can stack on top of your biome. So if you place one down, that doesn't mean it's there for the entirety of the game. It's one of those rule books where it seems intimidating until you're like halfway down to the first page and you're like, oh, this isn't that bad at all. The rule book's kind of thick, but it's like Project L because it's in multiple languages. So it's really like 2 or 3 pages. It's not a hard game to learn. And after like the first round, me and my daughter, we were just going really fast and going back and forth. And also one of the things you can do is those chests you see around the cards. You can go there and pick up the chests. Those are weapon items. Because those chests, whenever you flip over, you see an Enderman there, and there's a creeper and some zombies and stuff. You have a player deck based on your color, and then you take those chests and you shuffle them up, and then you draw 3. So you're also sort of doing hand management because you want to make sure you have more cards for combat. I
have more questions about the theme. Does the creeper blow stuff up?
The creeper does not blow stuff up, but
what's going on, Ravensburger? Does the Enderman, like if you attack him once, if you attack the Enderman once, does he move to a different space?
No, the Enderman does not move to a different
Where
space.
is the theme? I'm upset. I like Minecraft a lot.
There is
my
a
kids
TNT
love Minecraft,
in there, and if you use a TNT, it blows up, and you can't use it again, and it does mess up some other stuff.
That's
as you're doing hand management in your cards, you get 3 poisonous potatoes, so you might be able to draw those out. So you may not be able to kill those guys as you're fighting them. We played in about 30 minutes, and since then, just about every other day, she's like, "Hey man, I really like that. Hey dad, not man. Hey dad, I really like the Minecraft game.
Hey man. Hey male figure that lives at this house."
Well, it was funny because like earlier today, I was telling her, I was like, "Hey, I've got to do the podcast tonight." She was like, "Do you think one day I'll be able to get on the podcast and talk about a game?" And I was like,
You're like,
"Oh,
absolutely."
Baby. Like, yes. And I almost asked her tonight to talk about this game because she loved it so much.
That's awesome.
But we'll set something up for the future. But is it all the theme of Minecraft like we're always going over? No. But is it fun? Yes. We had a great time. Give the rule book a chance. It's really not it's so not complicated. I taught the game, and that's how easy the game is because I don't do that stuff. Even playing Marvel United this weekend, I called Kent just to clarify a rule. I didn't phone home or call a friend or anything like that for this game. And if you like Minecraft, I really love the blocks. I thought the blocks was a really smart idea, and my daughter and I were both kind of breaking the system because then we would try to get the blocks that we wanted, but we would just go straight down so we could maximize our point scoring. So that way we didn't clear off an entire level and then end that round. So nice. We ended up like getting all the way down to the nitty gritty towards the end of the game. It was a lot of fun. If your kids like Minecraft and you like board games, I think you'll like this game. Is it the greatest kids game? No, but it's fun.
That's cool.
I'd recommend it.
I love that, like, I played Minecraft a ton, like, forever ago when it first came out, and, like, my kids grew up, like, loving it so much, and now, like, I just grief my kids in Minecraft. Whenever they're like, "Dad, play Minecraft with us," and I, like, immediately get on and start building. There's a thing called, like, what is it, like a wither or something like that? And they always play on creative, so you have access to like everything. And if you build like this specific thing, it'll create a wither, and the wither just like freaking runs around and blows up everything. So they're like, "Dad, look at this building and all this town I made." I'll like slowly start building a wither. They'll be like, "Dad, stop!"
Oh, you're terrible.
I only actually built it once. I just trolled them the rest of the time. There were too many tears the time I actually built it, so I did not do that again.
We play Minecraft a lot at our house. And we have certain worlds where we have like our blow up worlds where we can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you blow up some of my kids' creations, like it is game over. Like, yeah, you will be, terrible father.
Me and Ryan Ortiz used to play Minecraft together all the time on the same server.
Bro, it's so much fun. I love it. And one of the things I like about Minecraft outside of this board game is my daughter can play on her tablet. My other daughter will play on the PlayStation, and I'll play on the Xbox, and my wife can play on her phone. And they all sync together, and it all works together. All these different devices. And so that's really cool. And it's a family-friendly game. There's no language. There's nothing like that. And then you still have the adventure of the zombies and all this stuff like that. So it's a good, fun family game. That's why I bought the game. Also, again, because my family loves Minecraft so much, and we enjoyed it. We really did.
Yeah. I think it's crazy the people that, like, down on Minecraft or whatever and be like, oh, it's a kid's game. But, like, it's been around for way longer than that, It started with adults
all
playing
of my friends
so.
that have young kids. I was like, man, if you're not playing Minecraft with your kids, if your kids are playing Fortnite and all these other games, which, okay, to each their own, they're not bad games. But, man, if you want to, like, play with your kids, play Minecraft. It's a fun, cool game. You can play survival mode, creative mode, and it's a great way for you to be able to connect with your kids and also still have a challenge. And if you want a challenge, you put like on extreme hardcore mode on Minecraft, and then you play with your kids. Yeah, it's not an easy game because some of them are kind of tough. On the computer versions, if you die, you can't access your world anymore. It just destroys your whole world and everything. You have to start a whole brand new world. So it's a lot of fun.
It's pretty intense.
Board game wise, yeah, it's different.
Back in my day, we didn't have creative mode.
Right?
We had to build bricks uphill both ways, or build whatever. Anyway, you know what I'm saying.
I get you.
All right, my game. I played with this Joey Evans dude. Some Marvel Champions, which we ended up throwing Marvel Champions in the news. But I played the Angel and Psylocke decks, which I actually have right here. Gotta hold them up as well. But yeah, so these were pretty fun decks. Angel has like a whole bunch of like flying aerial aspect to all of his stuff. He's also another one of those, as you can see from the picture here, he's another one of those like fold out cards, which is really cool, which they did with like Ant-Man and Wasp as they got big. Angel has a like alter ego side, the Warren side or whatever, and then a Angel side, and then an Archangel side. So he can flip in between those different modes, and he's all about playing aerial cards. And if you're in the Angel side, you get to draw an extra card when you play an aerial card. If you're in the Archangel mode, you get to do extra damage each time you play an aerial card. And man, Angel is like a powerhouse for dealing damage. And Psylocke is really cool because she's very finesse. She has like these psychic weapons. She has either a psychic knife or a psychic like katana, and you can flip those. She starts with those cards in play, and you can flip back and forth to make her strength more or her thwart more. So depending on whether you need to be a thwarting character and getting the schemes down, or they need to be an attacking character and just wrecking face, you can kind of use her the way you want. And all of her stuff triggers off of what side her psychic blades are in, which is pretty cool and very thematic for Psyche as well. I'm just amazed with how well Marvel Champions does with, like, these are decks of cards, but they somehow make them feel thematic with new mechanics to each character that they come out with. And that's why it's like one of my favorite games of all time. Is my favorite game of all time. I love Marvel, and I love very strategic cooperative card play. It's just really fun for me. And me and Ruthie have played a bunch of these together. You didn't play these with me, but we're really excited because I just got in the X-23 and Deadpool decks.
I can't wait to play X-23.
Yeah, Deadpool's gonna be wacky. We'll see how wacky he is.
I love X-23.
It's gonna break the game.
Yeah.
He also say ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna have ridiculous stuff again with Deadpool, which a lot of companies do. But it also comes with an entire like because you have aggression and justice and all of these different like aspects in the game. This comes with the pool aspect, so you can technically make any character into a Deadpool character. Okay. I don't know that I'll be doing that, but it is gonna be fun to do it with just the Deadpool character and seeing how much chaos he creates, because he adds a bunch of bad things to the game. He's very much like Star-Lord. When you played his character, he would throw a bunch of more bad cards into play. Deadpool just adds a bunch of more bad icons into play, which normally gives him benefits for all of those bad icons. But the other players are going to be like, yo, You're wrecking our game. Like, you have to be very careful. He's probably going to be
I'm
really
excited for
powerful
Deadpool.
and also a terror at the same time.
Right.
Also, I played the game with Joey Evans, and I should probably never do that again.
Why?
I'm just kidding.
Is
I
it
like
good?
Joey a lot. I like Joey. He's funny. He's a goofy guy. But yeah, he
I'm
listens to the
excited for
podcast
Deadpool,
sometimes, and that's
Dice
mostly why
Storm.
I'm playing it. I hope he listens to the podcast so he can hear me say that. But yeah, and Rob, we need to play at some point. It would be awesome to like
Champions?
teach you the
Oh
game.
man, I would love to.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love to. Teach me, Roy. Teach me so then I can go teach others the wrong way how to play, but they'll like my way that I teach better. And we'll just have like this. And then when we all get together to play, I'll have this army of people that know how to play the wrong way, and you'll get so frustrated that we'll just win because you'll quit by default, and then we'll win by default. And
Do
it's
you?
like, yeah.
I just bring my kids over Thanksgiving weekend and we can play. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm going to be in town though, so I might actually hit you up about seeing what times you're available. I'm not sure how many
Yeah.
houses you sell Black Friday. Do they have deals on houses on Black Friday?
Bro. Every day.
Every day. Every day's a deal at at
At Ardmore Realty.
Ardmore Realty. We
I'm
get you the
licensed
best
throughout the
deals.
state 365 days a year.
There you go.
It's always working.
But yeah, Marvel Champions, I still like it. Kent, White Castle. The White Castle, not to be confused with the restaurant.
I know it's not about the little hamburgers. This is about the White Castle. This is it's a game designed by the design team who did Red Cathedral from Devere also. So it's basically a small box Euro game. It's got I think it's got a pretty good look to it. It's very small on the table, but it's got some nice components, some nice dice. But basically, it's a dice drafting game, and it's essentially you're going to get 9 dice drafts throughout the whole game. That's the whole game. So you draft dice 9 times. So each of your little dice drafts are so important to make sure you do something effective with your 9 actions. And it's one of those games where you can kind of set yourself up for combos and all sorts of stuff if you're, able to use your dice wisely. But basically, it's got these bridges on the left side of the board, and those bridges are going to distribute the dice. So there's 3 different colors. There's white, red, and black. And those are, after all the dice get rolled, they're going to be placed on the bridges. You got the low numbers on the left and the high numbers on the right. And you can only take from the far right or far left. So you can either take the highest dice of a color or the lowest dice. If you take the lowest dice, you trigger a benefit on your player board. There's a bunch of benefits you can gain, and throughout the game you can improve those benefits. So it's kind of compensation for taking a low dice. So sometimes you kind of want to take a low dice because you want to trigger a bunch of stuff on your own board. Sometimes you want to take a high dice because if you place dice out on the main board, it's kind of a dice placement, worker placement kind of thing after you take your dice. The higher the dice you place, you're going to get money equal to the difference of the space you place in. So for example, if a space requires a 3, you place a 5 on that spot, you're going to get $2. Or if you want to place a 1 on that space that had a 3, you're going to have to pay $2 to go to that space. So it's kind of a neat way to where they incorporated the money. So it's either you're going to gain money or pay money or just not do anything if you place the exact right number. But essentially what you're trying to do is you're trying to take you have these 3 different types of meeples in your player board, and you're trying to send the warriors on your player board out to the little area where the training grounds. You're trying to send the other people into the White Castle, and then you're trying to send gardeners out to the gardens. And those basically each of those little actions are associated with one of the 3 resources in the game. And it's really just trying to be efficient, combo together the different actions of those different locations. And it's kind of like you kind of have to do a little bit of everything because if you do one, it's going to make you better at the other, which also makes you better at this other one. So there's a lot of synergy between what you're doing. And if you can get a good chain of like actions, it feels so satisfying to be like, I'm going to place this, and then it gives me this, and then now I get to activate this guy, and then this guy gives me this benefit. And it's one of those kind of games where it's like you can really get a good, powerful turn, and it just feels so good, especially when you're only getting 9 actions the whole game, and you're just trying to squeeze out as much as you can as far as like making each of your moves as effective as possible. So I would say it's a pretty hefty Euro game.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, I was wondering if this is a Euro game or not.
It definitely is a Euro game, but like I said, it's got dice. Everyone's kind of at the mercy of the dice, so you can roll. If you roll low, people are just going to have to deal with that. So it's just kind of. And the other thing that's kind of cool is all those worker placement spots on the board are cards. The actions are associated with cards, so those cards can change throughout the game. So those worker placement
cool.
spots change, and then once those cards change, you're going to gain those cards, add them to your player board, and they're going to become actions for you. But they're also going to be added benefits you can gain when you like activate your lanterns.
So each round the worker placement spots change, or each time someone goes to that spot.
Based on when a meeple gets placed on that spot with a card. Like, so there's ways to send your meeples into those rooms, which pulls those cards off the board and puts it on your board. And then it becomes an special action for you. So it's really cool. It's a cool game. It doesn't take that long to play, unless there could be a lot of AP for this game though, because the actions are so important. People really need to make sure you're doing something good with your turn.
Gotcha.
So it can lead to some AP, but when Courtney and I played a 2-player, I think it took us the first time it took us maybe an hour.
Who had the most AP?
Not me.
Marital strife. Dun, dun,
Second time, it
dun.
was like maybe 30 or 45 minutes. It was really, it's pretty quick, but it's like,
That's not too
it gives you that really meaty Euro experience in a much quicker time frame with a lot less.
You said there's like combos and stuff, so does it feel engine buildy at all, or
it
just
does a little bit. So you can like add cards to your board that improve your resources you gain and stuff, but the game goes by so quick that like you can't really do a ton of engine building kind of stuff, but there is some stuff you can do. But it's good. It's a pretty interesting game. It kind of feels different than a lot of the games I've played in a while. But it is kind of a cool Euro game based with with dice kind of stuff going on. So
nice.
It's worth trying if you like that kind of thing. If you like dice, you like Euro games, it's worth checking out.
And the main way to get points by putting people in the White Castle, or
kind of, yeah. You
eating
put
burgers, or
multiply the people you have on the it's like the war area, like little training grounds, times the people in the castle. So it's like you can really combo that pretty good if you're able to.
So it's really all about was it Harold and Kumar figuring out how to get to White Castle? Is the entire theme of the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the name of the guys? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was. I think that was their names, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. White Castle.
White Castle. Awesome. Well, I guess we'll talk about Courtney's game.
Yeah, so we played I'm probably butchering this, but it's called it's Knar. It's Knarr. It's a Viking themed game by Thomas Dupont. And again, I'm probably butchering that because it's French. But yeah, that's really cool art. It's kind of a filler game, card game. Basically on your turn you have 2 actions. The one you do most is you have a hand of like 3 cards. What you said? I
didn't say anything.
You made a noise like you were gonna interrupt me, or I said something wrong. Okay. Sorry. So you have a hand of 3 cards, and so on your turn you're gonna play a card down and into your kind of tableau in front of you. And each of those cards has a different color. There's 5 different colors. And it also has like a reward on the top part of the card. And so when you play it down, you get that reward on the top of the card. And then if you have any other cards in your tableau of that color, you also get those rewards. So it's kind of combo-y that way. Is if you have more green cards, you're going to get more rewards when you play a green card down.
Oh, nice.
And so you're just kind of building up this little tableau of different color cards in front of you. And then the reason why you're doing that is the other action you can take is you can use those cards or spend those cards in front of you to claim a location card. So it's, I guess, thematically, it's that you're using your Vikings to go, pillage in a different area or something like that. So you basically spend those cards. So sometimes it's certain colors you need. Sometimes it's 3 of the same color or 3 different colors or 1 of every color. And just depending on what those cards you claim, it gives you certain rewards. So like points, or sometimes they give you new cards, or these little tokens that you can collect that are kind of like wilds or help you build up your location. So it's basically kind of a race game because it's the first person to get to 40 points triggers the end of the game. Everybody gets equal number turns, but it's Kent won because he was like basically the first person. I think he won by a point, but he got to 40 first.
First player advantage.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's like a quick little card game, really neat art, pretty simple. I think we liked it a lot. Definitely when we play again.
Yeah, the art looks cool.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
art is really pretty.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really easy.
Nar. So you'd say it's kind of like filler weight, you think?
Oh yeah, for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
You can
Nice.
play it in 30 minutes, depending on how many players. And
Yeah, it's pretty easy. You play down a card or you claim a location. Like that's all you can do on your turn. So the turns are really quick.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, like quick, snappy turns.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I guess we can get into our topic of the week, which is holiday gift picks. And Rob wanted us to add a game for 25, a game for 50, and a game for 100. Also, how many people are you buying games for $100 for, Rob?
I
Or
would
you're
say
just-
the $100 game is for like your real board gamer. Like,
Yeah.
if you wanted a game for yourself and it was Christmas and you could buy yourself a present, like what?
Okay.
Type of
That or you get that gift card money, and then you can add some of your own money to the gift card money.
fine.
That's the
Right.
game you get for yourself.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah,
That's
so
not like different levels.
I made a little bit of picks here, but I guess we'll let Rob start this off.
Okay. I picked
me
for
see
my
how this
first
looks.
$25 or less. So if you're buying a game for somebody who is possibly an avid gamer or maybe new to gaming, I was looking at a lot of my prices are all have to do with Amazon, since Amazon is probably the number one seller of board games. Carcassonne. I think Carcassonne is a great game. It was on sale for like $22 when I was
awesome.
checking out prices. It's a fun, easy game, not hard to learn whatsoever game, and it's a step beyond the monopolies and the lives and the troubles that people would be into. It's one of those things where if like people said, hey, they play Catan, they might also like Carcassonne. My family, we really like Carcassonne. We played a couple times now of our copies, and so if you're looking for that, that grandkid or that partner or that family friend or whoever that's into board games or maybe into board games and you're on a budget, I think Carcassonne is a great place to start.
Yeah, Carcassonne's one of those classics, and it hasn't gone away.
Nope. Hasn't gone away, and there's expansions for it, but you don't really need the expansions, unless you're just like a completionist where you want all of it. We've only ever played the base version because the version I got was the anniversary edition that came with a couple of expansions inside of it, but we've just always enjoyed just the base version, and it's so simple. You just make sure your tiles match up. So I would check out Carcassonne, and it's still being plugged, it's still being published, so it's not going to be hard to get your hands on a copy. It still sells really well, so that's my first one.
Are we going to go through all of our first ones first, or you want to do all of your job?
You tell me, big guy. This is
We can switch through. Everybody can see your other ones though, so I don't know.
Yeah, you could
Oh,
just.
well, I put those. I thought you guys would manipulate. I didn't think you would just load up.
You put them all on one slide, so I showed the whole slide.
Well, yeah, because I know you and Kent grab the pictures and stuff.
I just copied what you did and had I literally duplicated your slide and then did it. Kent and Courtney are currently doing the same thing.
All right, well then
just go
I'll do
through-
my
yeah.
second
Yeah,
one.
just go to it.
Abduction. Abduction is a fantastic game.
It looks cute.
If
Yeah,
you're looking
you
for
weren't
something
here the
new,
week that he talked about this. I bet you'd like this game.
yeah,
It
it is not
so
a
funny
hard
about
game.
like ducks.
yeah, you
Did you
are
tell
an
him I
alien.
collect rubber ducks?
No.
Yep, that's literally what you do. You're an alien and you're collecting ducks, and you get points by getting different sets of ducks, however your card says, and also has a little bit of take that, because your card might be able to take somebody else's ducks, or your card can move ducks around, and then you need to have them all match a certain way. And the components and everything are really good. This version is about $39.99, so it's under the $50 version.
Wow.
And so if you're a gamer, and now this is not a heavy game. This is not like a game where it's gonna like you're gonna have to sit down and read a big rule book. I think the rule book is like a page and a half. But it was fun, and it was something that my family and I saw it. I was like, you know what, we like this, and we did, like immediately. We loved it, and we played it. And so Abduction, and another reason why I put it on here on this list is because it's also new. All right, Carcassonne is an old classic, but I wanted to put in
Yeah.
a game that just came out this year. Abduction is, and there's an expansion that you can add with it. I think that puts it a little around $60 or something like that. But this is like $39.99, and it comes with like a UFO, a big UFO. That's what that green saucer thing is, and you put the rubber duckies in there.
In there?
And
It
and the
looks
rubber
awesome.
duckies, they're good quality. They're hard too. They're different colors, and so it was just a lot of fun. I was surprised at how much I bought it because I thought it looked cute, and I thought my daughters would love the rubber duckies. And then we played, and we're like, wow, this was also a lot of fun. And it's a new game you're not hearing a lot of, so it might be like one of those like niche games where like
Yeah.
people are gonna be like, abduction, what's abduction? And then you play it and you enjoy it. So that's what I thought for like under $50. If
cute.
you like a family style, heavier family style, and know your audience, again, this does have a little bit of that take that, because some of your cards
love
can
that.
affect other people's ducks, which I like, because like no mercy. I don't care if you're a little child, I will beat you. Right? These are my ducks. But not everybody can handle that. So that's why I like this,
That's cool.
where it's a little bit of hand management, duck stuff, and then also take that. It's not really hand management because you only draw a few cards. But anyway,
That's
abduction.
cool.
And then my third game, man. So I have been watching all of these lists of everybody's top 100 games, top 50 games, and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, look, man, this is ridiculous. Like, it's making me think like, okay, what are my top games? Every time I've thought about this, and this game has been in one of my top games of all time. This is one of the reasons why I got into board
Oh,
gaming.
for sure.
Mansions of Madness, but more specifically, second edition. I think it's on sale right now for like $85 or maybe $89. If you can get your hands on, if you're looking for a heavier game that has different levels, right? There are easy, medium, hard levels. Mansions of Madness, just the base game. Just get the base game. Mansions of Madness second edition. It comes with enough in the base game to give you so many options. And what I love about this game is this is a game where it's everybody versus the app. And
It's a
you
great
are
experience.
it is a fantastic experience, and the app is smart. So if you play the same scenario, like I'll just spoil this for you. The first scenario on the easy level is you have to find these cultists who are doing this ritual to stop them from summoning this creature to eat everybody. You can play that scenario 10 times using the app. It's not always going to be in the same place. It's not the layout of the map is not always going to always be the same. And so yes, is the scenario the same? Yes, stop the cultists from summoning the creature. But the game makes it where you can't just memorize where certain things are and it be there. And I love that because it makes the experience fresh. So as you're teaching new people the game, you sort of get a new experience every time. The miniature quality is really good. For the good guys and the bad guys, the card quality, and I love the fog of war style of game because you start off, everybody's on one little piece of the map, and then as you move your character, the app tells you grab this game piece and then put this down and then put these tokens on it. So the game board is expanding and evolving around you. You're working cooperatively unless you go insane, which that's a feature with the game. You can either get killed physically or your mind can go crazy and then you start turning against your friends. So it makes it where you want to work together. It's a fantastic theme and it's at a great price point. $89 may seem like a lot, and it is. That's why, it's a but you get so much value for that $89. You can play that game so many times. I think there's 5 or 6, I think 5, definitely 5 maps that come with the base box.
And there's the
so
DLC stuff I think you can do for the base box as well. So it gives you
and
extra scenarios for that also if you do the DLC.
if you have any kids, right, and they have Toca Boca or they have all these other apps that require money for stuff, you can get some of those DLCs for like $2 or $3 or $5. I think for Mansions of Madness.
Every
And so-
DLC that came out for Mansions of Madness, I bought it the day it came out just because I wanted to support it and wanted them to keep making stuff for Mansions of Madness. I was like,
Yeah.
immediately buy it.
They're not expensive, but the value that they add to the game, the way that they move things around, and the app is really good on customizing your stuff. If you have expansions, it asks you what's in your library. What do you have? And so sometimes I'll tell you, don't click everything because it will make it very overwhelming because then it will pull from all of your expansions. So you may want to like limit it to expansion or two because the tiles, it'll tell you, okay, well, if you have all this stuff, we're going to utilize all this stuff. Pull a tile from this expansion and pull a tile from that one.
Right.
So it can be a little crazy, but it's such a fantastic game. I remember when my buddies and we got done playing Risk Legacy, and I always liked war games, and I went to this game shop. It was called the Bat Cave in Conway, Arkansas. And I was supposed to meet my buddy Lee there, and for some reason he wasn't able to come, but like on Tuesday nights they did a board game night. And it was a comic book shop that really sold Magic cards, and then they smoked pot. They smoked doobies in the back, right? So if you weren't there smoking doobies or playing
Which
Magic,
part were you doing? Were you playing the Magic or you were doing the doobies?
I was playing board games because I heard about board games, and we just got done playing Risk
okay,
Legacy.
sure.
And we played Mansions of Madness First Edition. And
it blew your mind.
It blew my mind. I was immediately hooked. I was like, "Oh my god!"
It definitely wasn't the drugs. It was the game.
It was not the drugs.
Were you eating stuff at the same time?
They had these.
Did you have any of the brownies? It was
Brownies?
about to say the same joke.
The brownies had kale in them, so I had all this green stuff in my teeth. So, but anyway, I remember playing that game, and really, that's what really got me into board gaming was all the different options of what you can do. And that was the first edition. That was back when it was one versus many. Now it's everybody versus the app. So if you're looking at buying a game for somebody for this holiday season, these are the three that I would recommend. Of course, there's so many others you can add to this, but Mansions of Madness by far, it's a top 10 game of all time for me. It's a phenomenal game. You'll get every bang for your buck out of that game.
It was one of the first games that I played with Ruthie when we started dating.
Yeah.
Like in October.
Yeah.
We had friends over and played because I taught it to
Yeah.
Gabby and Lewis. So it was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so Mansions is always fun. So I picked a few games for us while you were napping. I picked Just One, which is a great cooperative party game. Like I think it's maybe my favorite party game.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Ruthie, do you know much about Just One?
I love Just One. I love party games just in general. Like
I could imagine playing Just One with Rob. Would be a lot like playing Hanabi with Rob. It's kind of like playing Just One with our friend Carlos, where it's kind of like, I mean, I'm not gonna say not to do the one that starts with S, but don't do the one. Like, guys, you literally can't do that. That's cheating. Somebody has to enforce the rules. Kent will back me up on this.
Roy
Yeah.
gets so frustrated with
Yeah.
us, with my group of friends, because we'll be like, so are we doing, like, how basic are we going? And Roy's like, you cannot do that. I'm like, stop. Like, go to the other room really quick while we talk. And he's like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And then, like, Ruthie's friend would be writing something down, and she'd be trying to pay attention to their pen strokes and be like, "Oh no,
I
I
can read
can't."
their pen strokes. I can read. I'm like, no, don't write that. Don't write that. And she's like, okay. I'm like, I didn't read what they wrote. I just read
That's the
pen
spirit of
strokes.
Rob Newman right there. That's what that is.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how you do it though. That's what makes it so much fun.
Is it this big or is it this big? Is it
You're talking about the mind?
yeah.
Yeah. Like, but you don't ask the question, you go,
Sometimes you just have to like let go and be like, well, I guess it's
I
not
would love
really
to play
going to be
Just
the
One
real
with
game.
Ruthie.
We're just
I
gonna
would
have
have
fun
to.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roy finally realized, he's like, I'm just gonna have to let them just do their thing because
right? Just
we're
let
too
us have.
spaz.
Just One is a game that has worked in every situation with every group that I've ever played it with. I've played it with my family. Like,
Yeah.
I played with all sorts of different people in my family. I played it with like different friend groups. I played it with everybody. It's just always a blast to play. I think it's the kind of game.
When we went up,
Yeah, for my grandpa's funeral too, So like we played it like in all sorts of situations. I think it's a game that you can really like. It should almost be in like every gamer's collection. Just 'cause it's so easy to get to the table. It's so accessible. It's like, oh, you've never really played board games before? Let's play Just One. Because it's so easy. It's cooperative. It's like the simplest cooperative game out there. It's so easy to get into.
right.
The next game is one of Ruthie's favorites, and it's one of my favorites too, is Clank Catacombs. So I love Clank, and I actually took this and taught this to Matt and Rob in Panera as well. But this is a deck building game where you're trying to delve down into these catacombs and grab a treasure and then run out, and not be a person that's left behind. Because the entire time, a dragon is trying to basically like attack you guys and destroy your life points as the game goes along. So it's kind of a little bit of pressure luck with deck building, and the Catacombs version gives this cool sense of like dungeon exploration. So every time you play the game, it's going to be different as the dungeon kind of builds out in weird, interesting ways. And you can be like, oh, let me explore this way. And then sometimes someone will reveal a tile. It's like, oh man, I got to get over there. We'll play a game like Ruthie did with one guy where she just kept trying to find a treasure. And every time she revealed a treasure, someone would get to it before her.
I wanted
She's
to
like,
flip the table.
but it's she'd be like, oh, I revealed a tile with a treasure on it. So I'd run over there and grab it. But it's like, oh, let me get another backpack so I can steal another treasure from you. But no, I didn't do that. That was the other guy. It wasn't me. But I was off. I always try to merge my own path. I'm like, you guys go that way. I'm going to go over here and explore this way. But yeah, I love Clank, and Clank Catacombs is a blast to play. So I really enjoy it.
I love playing Clank.
So it's a lot of fun. And just the deck building aspect of it's a lot of fun too. Just there's always different cards coming out with new bad guys and villains that you can fight off against coming out. And it's just a lot of fun.
Collecting the coins.
Collecting coins and building up and trying to maximize your points for treasure. Mm-hmm. And then I put two gigantic games, which are games that are known as like this IP in a box. I picked Star Wars Rebellion and War of the Ring. I know it's two games, but those are just games that I've had in my collection for a really long time. I feel like they've stood the test of time. And like, if you enjoy Star Wars and you want a big, gigantic, epic Star Wars game, Star Wars Rebellion is amazing. It's all about the asymmetrical play with one side is the Empire trying to find the Rebel base. The other side is the Rebels trying to be sneaky and fulfill these missions to try to like best the Empire. It has this weird like hero placement system where you're trying to place out these heroes for different missions, or the Empire's trying to place out these heroes to try, or characters to try to like find out where the Rebel base is and build up all these different structures. You can build up Death Stars. You can use Death Stars to blow up planets. You can send X-Wings on trench runs to try to blow up those Death Stars, and that can complete missions for you to kind of help hinder the Empire. It's a blast to play. And then War of the Ring is just like an extremely thematic, like War of the Ring, like thematic, like war game where it's like you're building up armies as the Shadow, trying to overcome all the strongholds of the free people, and then as the Fellowship, you're just trying to hold on to those strongholds for dear life because you're definitely outnumbered. But if you're able to get the Fellowship to Mount Doom and throw the ring in, you win the game. But the entire time, the Shadow player is trying to corrupt the ring bearer as well. It just fits the Lord of the Rings theme to a T, and I feel like every game of War of the Ring I play comes down to like a knife's edge of like, if it strays just a little, you know, it's very thematic to what Lord of the Rings is. You know, it's like Frodo's about to be corrupted. He's about to throw the ring in, but the Shadow's about to take over the last stronghold they need to win the game. And like this back and forth of like, where do you allocate your actions? And I'm stoked to play this game every time I play it. These both are gigantic, extremely long games. But if we're talking about that like $100 price point, and if there's people that really enjoy these themes, this is the kind of game I'd recommend. So
yeah, they are so amazing, and the themes on those. But I'll just add to it, they are gamers' games.
Oh,
like,
for
this
sure.
This is not like an intro or anything like that. But
you're
they
gonna have
are
to watch
phenomenal.
how to play and then read the rules like 5 times, and then when you step away from it, you're gonna forget how to play, and then you need to learn it again. It's a big game.
They're big games, but you will have whichever movie in those series are your favorite playing in the background as you're playing, and then you will be those characters. Like, such great picks, such amazing games. Both of the Star Wars. In fact, my daughter on the Star Wars, every time she walks by it in the basement, she's like, "Dad, when are we going to play that black and orange Star Wars game?" When I was like, "Baby, you got to get a lot older before we play this one." This is my youngest. She's like, "Dad, when are we going to play the black and orange one?" Like, I would love to play it. I won't sell it till we play it, but such good games.
I would love to like play that with you someday.
played.
It's gigantic.
She's
It's
only
really
6,
long.
so we're not
But-
playing for.
It's really long.
It's decently long. But the cool thing is we could leave it set up and play it over the course of
It's like 2 to 3 hours.
2 hours
like,
isn't too bad. We played Battlestar Galactica, and Ruthie didn't think that it was. I told her we were playing for 4 hours, and she didn't believe me. I'm like, no, you were just having fun playing the game. We literally played it for 4 hours.
Well, the issue though, the difference is, I think both of those games are better at 2 players. I know Rebellion.
Oh, they
you can
have
do
to be
2
played
or
with 2
4,
players. They're very much 2-player
right?
games.
Where Battlestar Galactica, you're typically playing with more than 2
players.
people, so
Yeah,
you can feed off of that energy. So make sure you love Roy enough to play head to head against Roy.
Kent, did you
Now-
see the planets that Tom had for Star Wars Rebellion at Dice Tower East?
Yeah, they were giant. Yeah.
Tom gave me those planets. So yeah, I definitely
Set
need
it
to
up.
play Star Wars
Where do you
Rebellion
set
and
it
get
up?
that thing.
Stuff. Is all
So
that
what?
like on Etsy or
Those are
something?
Etsy, I think, right?
Those
I mean,
are
they were-
basically impossible to get. A dude had them on Etsy, and he made a few of them and sold them for like $400 or something crazy like that. Because they're all like hand painted, handcrafted planets that are like this big. You know, like half the size of my head. You know, it's
So
like
do you have
gigantic.
like a custom map that you play with? Because some of those places are small.
They're on like stands and they like float. They're just these gigantic planets on stand. It's ridiculous looking, Rob. It's ridiculous.
I would love that.
Anyway, Tom was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna need it for the Dice Tower library. Do you want this, Roy?" I was like, "Yes!" Like before he could even finish the sentence. It's the same thing that happened when he said, "Do you want to go play games with Mr. Beast?" Yes, I want to go play games with Mr. Beast. Yes. Like, what kind of question is that? Like, but yeah.
Our volunteers tribute.
Oh, on top of that, I know Rob, you got this too, but dun, 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 dun.
Oh man, I'm so excited. Yeah, I've already opened up my my box and I've looked at some of the cards.
This is another great game for Christmas, by the way.
It really is. It really is.
That's a good
I did
$50
not
price
put
point.
that. I did not put that on my list because I thought one of you guys
And
would
for
have it on
any
your
listeners, that is a Dune Imperium Uprising. I really enjoyed. So
Dune Imperium is a top 5 game of all time for me, and so I'm so excited to play Uprising.
I love playing Imperium.
So phenomenal. Just I didn't think I would love it as much as I love it, but I have everything Dune.
we should play the new one since you haven't played the new one yet. But we need some other people. I don't really want to play that at 2. It'd be more fun to play with more people. So yeah, let's get into Kent's suggestions.
All right. So I targeted my list as more of a going for like gifts for semi gamers to non gamers mostly. I mean, some of these games gamers could play and enjoy, but they're probably not like ones that they would.
I'll say Death May
Maybe
Die is a pretty gamer game,
Well,
though.
Yeah, aside from that, but again, spending $100 for somebody who's a non gamer, I think
It's
that's kind of
insane.
understandable. Yeah.
Honestly, spending $100 on somebody else for Christmas
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
I mean, that isn't
But,
your
so,
significant
like,
other is pretty
I
insane.
like these little entry level Ticket to Ride games. There's a bunch of them now. There's Ticket to Ride New York, London, Amsterdam, a few more I can't remember offhand, but they're all really solid and they play quickly. So it's a really good entry into that system, and they're just fun. Like I still like that game. I still like the system, and each one of them has a nice little twist to it that makes them kind of different from each other. So I feel like those are solid, easy to play games that are just, a lot of people kind of like the Rummy style games. And that's kind of what Ticket to Ride is. So they're just fun. And they're kind of interactive in some ways where you're kind of, blocking people off on the routes and stuff and trying to get the cards that they want and things like that. So it gives you a little bit of interaction, but not too much. And they're just fun. Well done games. And then the next one for $50 is the retail version of Thunder Road Vendetta.
Amazing.
It's just chaos. I feel like gamers and non-gamers can have a lot of fun
So
with
much
this.
fun.
As long as you're okay with the chaos and just the crazy dice chucking and stuff.
Man, we
it's
should have
just-
taken that up to Adrian's and made them play it.
We got to
The
play this
production
weekend. Ken.
is great. It's just a lot of fun.
Will you please teach me
Everyone's
how to
just
play this
laughing
weekend?
and
You haven't
Yeah,
played this
sure.
yet, Rob?
Every time I brought it out to play, somebody had already grabbed their hands on something else and they wanted to play it. I have not been
This
able to
is
play
such
game.
a simple
And I
game
have
to
the
learn and
expansion
play.
with the
It's not that hard,
motorcycles
yeah.
and stuff.
yeah,
Did you play the
we'll
old
play-
Thunder
we'll
Road,
play.
Rob?
Yeah, remember we played it
We
with
played it with Avery, which we shall not speak his name. But yeah.
yeah.
But I feel like for
That's
$50,
crazy.
it's just a lot of fun in a box, and it can fit almost anybody as long as you're okay with the chaos. It's a great choice.
It's such a good game.
And then again, I had such a hard time finding a $100 game that would be good
know.
for entry. I picked
It's
this because I was going to pick Mansion of Madness, but then I didn't want to take Rob's pick. But I've introduced Mansion of Madness to non-gamers, and it's been fine because I can teach. I can handle like the overhead. Same with this Death May Die. You can, if you know what you're doing, you can handle some of the overhead for it, and maybe play it with them the first time after they get it or whatever. And it's just co-op. It's crazy. It's all sorts of, dice chucking, destroying monsters. It's a little bit more, probably a little bit more going on than Mansion of the Madness, just because you have to manage all the stuff yourself, manage what the enemies do. But I wouldn't say it's a really challenging rules heavy game. I mean, it's challenging to win, but I'd say rules wise, it's not too bad. It's definitely heavier than the other two games on my list, but it's just a lot of fun, and you get to feel very powerful with your characters. All the characters have these cool abilities, and almost always by the end of the game, you're almost going insane, but your characters like unlocked all their abilities. You're doing tons of damage, and it always comes down to like either you all lose horrifically, but it's like a great time, or you win just barely. But I like how modular this game is too. So that's the other thing. If they like this game, there's a lot of content for it. But I would say there's so much content just in the base game box, you wouldn't really need to dive into that stuff. But the way you can integrate the new content's really cool. You just kind of pick whatever elder god you want to fight against, and you mix it with an episode, and just go. So there's a lot of different variations you can do with the different stuff.
Did they do more beyond episode 2?
They had another Kickstarter at some point that is not delivered yet. So there's like I don't know if that's like episode 3 or whatnot. So it's called Fear of the Unknown, I think maybe that's what it's called.
I know they're not the same games, but I like on Zombie side how your character can level up and get more actions and do crazier stuff. And that's what I always liked about Cthulhu Death May Die with your character.
Yeah.
It's like if you live long enough to get your character, because this game is brutal, you can be some hardcore crazy person. And I love just their characters that you have to choose from. Death May Die is such a good game. It really
the more
is.
insane you get, the better your character is.
Yeah, you typically die from going insane, but you're getting stronger as that's progressing. So like you want to get more fear because it's going to increase your character's abilities and stuff. So it's really neat.
It's not kind of as hardcore as like an Elden Ring video game, but it's in like that genre. Like this is, I don't think I've ever won. I think I might have won only one scenario of Cthulhu Death May Die.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
I lose a lot more than I win.
Yeah, Mansion of Madness, you're pretty much you're much more likely to win in Mansion of Madness. That's when you're probably going to lose, but it's definitely winnable, but it's more challenging for sure.
It's definitely more challenging, but a great game.
Those are my picks. But again, Mansion of Madness, it could also be replaced with Mansion of Madness, which is also a great game. So.
And there you have Courtney's games.
So I couldn't decide if I wanted to do like games for like people getting into the hobby or games for like really good board, like people who are already in the hobby. So I did both. So I apologize, but
girl, you do you.
So I'm gonna do 2 games for each. So my like $25 game for like kind of newer gamers would be Marvel United. Yes, you can definitely pay more than $25 for this game, but like
I was actually thinking about that for an $100 pick. If you're like, get the Kickstarter version.
$20, I think, on Amazon, so you can just spend that and get a lot of good content. You can definitely go way more than that, but I think it's a really good entry-level co-op game. It's a lot of fun, and a lot of people, the Marvel IP is really popular.
I just taught a family how to play that game a few days ago, and they loved it. They immediately came to me the next day, and they're like, hey, man, this is not good. Our Amazon cart has gotten really big now.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think the Spider-Geddon is like just coming out now, too.
I really want to get that Spider-Geddon. Is it like at stores now?
We just got our copy from Amazon, I think.
A while back.
Like, I don't know. I can't go on in life if I don't have that Spider-Punk mini. I don't think. I guess gotta have that.
And then my $25 pick for kind of people who are already into gaming is a game called Kara, which is a 2-player only game. But Kent and I always talk about this game because it's a game we don't feel like gets talked about enough. It has like amazing components with these. It's got this like truck shaped timer, and you're like chucking dice, and it's such a really good game, easy game. But that's like I thought of it because it's a game probably most gamers don't have, maybe. So that's a good one. $50 price point. I thought, again, early gamers. Wingspan. I had to go with Wingspan. It's just such a good game, and can, it's good entry level engine builder. Maybe slightly above entry level. but yeah, it's such a good game. And then game for like already gamers, Planet Unknown is so good. I think it's a little bit over 50. I think it was like 56 on Miniature Market, but it's such a good game. It looks so cool with the Lazy Susan and just
Yeah.
a really good tile laying game.
Polyominid.
And then from 100 price point, I just could not go away from Mansions of Madness. Like I was like, Rob picked it, but $100 is a lot of money, and it was so hard to come up with a game that I thought was like worth $100. Like I know Kent would probably kill me if I mean, I don't buy the board games in our household, obviously. Like if I did, we would not own half the board games that we do, because like the idea of paying $100 for a board game just like blows my mind. But like I feel like with Mansion of Madness, with all the minis you get and everything, I feel like you're getting your money's worth. Especially and it's an easy game for new gamers to play. And then my pick for $100 for already gamers, obviously if you don't have it yet, it's Gloomhaven, which again is a lot, and it's not necessarily for everybody because it is a dungeon crawl, but I feel like you get your money's worth for $100. Like there is a lot of game packed into that box. Not saying you will get to all of it, but you will definitely get your money's worth with that one. So that's what I thought of for $100. So yeah,
Awesome picks. Wingspan was my second choice in my $50 option.
yeah.
Because it is such a great game, and it's a good semi-intro to new gamers, but also gamers like it. Planet Unknown, oh my gosh, I did not realize I would love that game as much as I did. To me, I thought when you guys were playing Earth at Cabin Con, I was like, okay, like I really have no desire to play Earth. Like it looks cute, nice, but man, when we played
Trees.
Planet Unknown, just the way it looked and it played and all this stuff, I loved it so much. And you get so much in that box. There's a lot that comes with it, and yeah, I love the Lazy Susan idea of just moving that stuff around. Great picks.
I do
And I'm
wonder,
glad
like,
we all thought of Mansions of Madness.
And
I
Mansion
love
Madness
Mansions
was
of
the
Madness.
big
Mansions
winner
of
here.
Madness is like one of my favorite games. Like it's in my, I know it's in my top 10. It was in like my top 5 for like the longest time. I
Right.
think I've played like every scenario for Mansions of Madness, like that's come out with all the expansions. So I just need to play. I want to play it more, honestly. Scotty's always asking me to play it too. So my kids like Mansions of Madness.
I need to.
Man.
I have the last 2 expansions still in Shrink. I need to.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I think
There's
we're
some
pretty
good-
close
I
to
think we've
finishing all of
played
it,
almost
too.
all of it too. I don't
What
know if
is
we played
what is
every
the
single one.
last 2 boxes though? I don't even remember the order that they came in
I
because
don't
I
know the
got
order either.
Isn't one of them that ship train
the
thing?
ship thing is
Horrific
crazy.
Journeys?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ship adds one where there's like straight up there is a trader at the beginning, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then there's one that's like on like a dirigible or whatever, which is kind of
Mhm.
crazy
We played
as
that
well.
one last time we played, actually.
Yeah.
We played it previously. We introduced it to one of our friends earlier the other day.
There's so many good scenarios. And the thing is, there's been so much time in between when I've played them. I could easily play any of the scenarios besides the
Right.
first one. I memorized the first one pretty well at this point, but
Yeah.
any of the rest of them. The Innsmouth one, I probably would remember a lot. But other than that, because I played the Innsmouth one several times as well, but almost any of the other ones I could play now and I'd have no clue where anything is, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I
it's
love
one
that.
of those games where it's so rich, and I love the puzzles in the game. Like it has these app puzzles, which are just so fun because of the mechanic of how it works. Like if you have a certain number of stats, you could use the puzzle in a certain way. It's just cool to be like, oh, you're better at that stat. You come over here and do the puzzle, and
Yeah.
like you can take turns working together to do the puzzle. It's like I'm gonna do the
And
puzzle
the
this round.
app
Now you do the
tracks
puzzle.
everything for you,
Yeah.
which is so great. So like if you have that one person who accidentally turns it a couple more times than needed, the app will shut it down. Like, buddy, you got so many turns. So the app keeps you honest, and it also helps with the setup too. That's what I love about it. The app will make it easier to jump into a game because it just takes care of everything for you. It's such a great game
This
for
would be a
gamers.
This would be a fun game to play, like with like
Halloween. This
me
is
and-
like a Halloween.
Yeah, this
game.
is like a quintessential Halloween game. But it'd be fun
Yeah.
to like bring out with like Scotty and Violet at some point and just like
Yeah.
play like me and Ruthie and Scotty and Violet as like a game. I think Emma could play it too because it's
Yeah.
really just moving around and throwing dice. But yeah, and I mean you can help kids play. I mean as long as they don't get too scared. I remember Scotty used to get too scared of the like one of the cards he'd see. He was like he gets scared of a
Well,
card.
the
I'm
app
like
also makes the noises and stuff
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I do.
so. But yeah, it's all good. But yeah, love that game. But
Well,
yeah,
hopefully we made some good picks for everybody. If you're looking to buy a game for your family or friends or loved ones or whoever, or even for yourself, hopefully you have some good picks and some good choices. So,
but yeah, lots of awesome things, and hopefully, hopefully you can find games that your loved ones will like. And I mean, I know sometimes people aren't into specific games, but also the holidays are a good time to like help introduce people to games.
Right.
Board games. I really feel like there is some sort of board game out there that people
For
enjoy
everybody.
playing. Like everybody likes playing some sort of games. I mean, you just have to meet them where they're at. Like we played like
Just gotta meet 'em.
Strike with Ruthie's family, and they had a lot of fun with it, and they're not necessarily used to playing that sort of thing most of the time. It's like it's just cool to see how games can bring people around the table together, to have fun.
Right.
So
For sure.
I was playing Animal Upon Animal with this lady at our church. She's 70 something, and she had her granddaughter with her. And I love this lady because she talks smack, like she's a trash talker like I am, and she's older too. And so I said, Denise, shut up and sit down. I'm about to beat you at this little kids game real quick. And she was like, all right, Robert, let's go. And and so me and my daughter, and then her and her granddaughter sat down and played. I just love what board games do for people, and I also love playing with people like Denise and others when you get to introduce them to these games that they had no idea. Like when we talk about some of these games with people, they're like, "You do what?" And the what? It's so much fun. So get out there, play some games, put down your iPads and turn off the TV and play some games. Unless you're playing Mansions of Madness, then grab your iPad.
Right.
And happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Hope you eat all the food and have all the turkeys
Matt
and
and
have lots
Adam,
of fun.
you got to come back, guys. We miss you guys because I know
Yeah.
Yes.
The cheese
Adam would've
conversation,
had-
we have to put charcuterie board on the list just so we can talk about cheese when Matt isn't here,
Right.
Just because we're gonna lose the cheese quota that we
Or
have
the
on the
cheese
podcast.
game. What was the cheese,
Cheese game. I still haven't heard Matt's thoughts on the cheese game.
yeah. What
Yeah,
was it?
I know.
Something
Come on, Matt, what you
Emerson-
got? Fromage.
For yes,
Oh, yeah,
fromage.
fromage, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Great stuff.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks everybody for joining us here for the podcast. Make sure to subscribe or check us out, or make sure to shout us out to other people as well. We're still trying to get this thing making it happen. But yeah, I do want to say thank you to everybody who joined us here on the podcast, and thank you to Kent, Courtney, Ruthie, and Rob, and Matt and Adam for being a part of the show.
Yes.
I wish they could be here, even though they're just in spirit. But yeah.
Adam would have had a pick that you can play before 7 a.m. and it made sense.
Yes.
Or some
Yeah.
really niche role-playing game that nobody's ever heard
Right.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ruthie got to avoid being chastised for not playing role-playing games by the fact that Adam's not here. Also, I guess Kent too. He's chastising both of you
Don't.
guys.
I'm okay
There's
with
so
that.
much fun.
I got a lot on my plate.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for joining
Bye,
us.
guys.
See you, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you guys.